Greetings, friends, and it's the grumpy old man. Let me get the microphone adjusted here. Broadcasting live from Studio B of WDWL TV, located on Grumpy Vulture Boulevard. And we are a division of Grumpy Vulture Productions. And thank God the goddamn vulture is out getting drunk. Yeah, he went down to the parade. That should be a sight. I guess maybe he's hoping somebody will, toss what's left of a corned beef sandwich in the trash and he can go play vulture. Pardon me. Speaking of St. Patrick's Day, unfortunately Grumpy isn't wearing any green because I forgot to wash the green shirt. Oh well. St. Patrick's Day, the second biggest drinking day next to New Year's Eve. And we have totally lost sight as to the real meaning for St. Patrick's Day. People don't want to get into all that, but plus the meaning behind the shamrock. And basically, St. Patrick explained the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, using a shamrock. And it remained over the years. And the reason for St. Patrick's Day goes back to the 4th century. People don't know that. And St. Patrick's Day is actually a religious holiday, not a drinking holiday. It all goes back to the first St. Patrick's Day parade, which was given in honor of St. Patrick. And the first St. Patrick's Day parade to honor the patron saint of the Church of Ireland was on March 17th, 1601. Yeah. St. Patrick's Day parade's been around since 1601. When all the drinking started, who knows? But instead of a religious holiday, it's turned into, hey, let's see how much we can put away holiday. Just a little hint of trivia. I know. Who cares? One more, bartender. No. This morning, I watched the live satellite pictures of the St. Patrick's Day celebration in Dublin. Oh my God. It was wall to wall people. You couldn't see a patch of sidewalk. Wall to wall people. I think every person in Ireland descended on Dublin. It was just a sea of green. It was kind of cool to watch. Of course, most of the satellite shots were taken in front of pubs. But it was a sea of green. Green hats, shamrocks, green clothing. It was cool. You know, that is how far technology has come. Where now we can tune in on YouTube and literally watch satellite pictures of the St. Patrick's Day celebration in Dublin. Kind of makes you want to be there. Not me. Of course, I don't know if they have the DUI enforcement like we have here. Although over there they call it drink driving, not driving while intoxicated. Are you drink driving? Okay, come with me. Yeah, as a matter of fact, in London, in England, it's the same thing. It's drink driving. Another neat thing is when you're caught in a stolen car. In America, you're charged with auto theft. Over there, you're charged with TWOC. 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 Taken without owner's consent. You're guilty of TWOC. No. Don't TWOC me. Yeah, TWOC. Same thing. Different wording. That's all. TWOC. 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 I hope I didn't screw things up. I went in yesterday. I noticed that the audio was a little on the low side, so I increased it just a tick. But the problem is, most of the time when you increase it just a tick, it blows your eardrums out. So I should have had volume warning, but I'm also not that close to the microphone, so I kind of like this little nano. Yeah, nano. Nano. Golden nano. I have it mounted a little different today. I've got it on the mic stand. I kind of like it better. Mounted on that arm, it's actually too small. Kind of looked ridiculous. So I mounted it this way. Tomorrow, there should be another nano. Because he sent me two. This one was brand new. Brand new. Untouched by human hands. And gold. Golden microphone. Now I have a golden microphone in Studio A and Studio B. Golden microphone. I have no idea what the one that's coming tomorrow. I didn't ask. You never look a gift horse in the mouth. Take that horse back. So, I know they come in gold, black, red, silver, and blue. 5 colors. I don't care. Color. Now, this one I like. Gold. The golden microphone. The golden voice of the grumpy old man being broadcast into a golden microphone. Yeah, that makes a point. Golden voice. More like a cranky old voice. So, we'll see what tomorrow brings. And if it gets here early enough, I'll wire it for a test. Probably on the microphone arm. Now that I've got this mounted, but I don't know. It only takes a few minutes to take it off the stand. But it's Cubano, Cubano, Cubano Gold. Limited edition. I'm kind of hoping, as much as I don't need another microphone, that he finds that Nano X, the one that basically is made for professional broadcasting. Not saying that these aren't, but that one is basically a hyper version of this one. Does way more than this one does. I kind of did a little reading on it today. Yeah, it's a super engineered version of this to be used technically in professional radio station settings. That's how cranked up the specs are in the X. Yeah, it's called a Nano X. The only thing I don't understand is why a professional broadcast station would use a nano. Not saying that there's something wrong with the nano. I just don't understand. Although, technically, I could see something like this sitting on, like, Jimmy Kimmel's desk. Just saying. Although, like I say, they basically use them for effect. They're dummies. Because they're wearing those real sensitive lavalier mics. And every now and then you'll see like a female guest, the wire running down her back, because there's a transmitter box that goes with it. Yeah, it's about the size of a cigarette pack. And it transmits to the receiver backstage. Although they still do use that boom mic, for additional audio, but everything is so technical now, tomorrow, I've got some lavalier mics. I'll show you what they look like. But they just clip on. They almost look like about the size of a peanut. A black peanut. So, how many of you out there are going to be waking up with severe hangovers in the morning? Nothing like going to work on a Monday after binging on Sunday. Shh. It's one of those where you can hear a page turn, while somebody's reading a book. Easy with that book. Yeah. Somebody slams a door. Please. It's to the point where you can hear a fly walking across a desk. That'll teach you. And the price of alcohol today, I can't see how anybody can afford to go to a pub and tie one on. It's got to be $200. Not like back in my day. You got a beer for 50 cents. It was, when I worked for the county, on a Friday night, there were 6 of us, and at the time, I worked right at the corner of West 3rd and Lakeside. And we would go down in the flats to Fagan's, which was a big pub at the time. And for 6 of us, and I mean, we were cranking, the total bar tab wouldn't be like $40. Although, back in the early 70s, that was pretty good money. But, I mean, you got 6 people drinking several rounds. $40. Boy, I'll tell you. Did the grumpy old man take chances driving home from downtown Cleveland, well cranked? Yeah. Although I'll tell you what, when I got in that car, I was hyper-focused. Don't weave, don't speed, make sure you got a seatbelt on. I never did anything stupid to attract attention to myself. Pardon me. I mean, there were nights coming home on the freeway, I would pass a police car. So I had to be doing what I should, not to attract attention. Because every Friday, rain, shine, snow, sleet, we were down at Fagan's. And the neat thing was, they had this big, huge, overstuffed couch. And they had a big fireplace. And during the winter, they'd have a fire going. And most of the time, we would get down there early enough that we got the couch. And I'll tell you, it was like sitting in your living room, sitting back on that couch, cranking down beer, big roaring fire going, good friends. It was fun times. It was. We were a crazy group. Crazy. As a matter of fact, one of the guys and two of the girls would sneak outside and smoke one of those illegal cigarettes. And when they would come back in, talk about the two girls having the giggles, oh my God. All they did was giggle all night, no matter what it was. They were hilarious. Not to say they weren't hilarious enough, but yeah, when they got done with that illegal cigarette, oh, they were crazy. And giggle. You could do anything, get them giggle. You know, put a finger in their forehead, give them a little push. Giggle. But it was fun times. It was fun times. Although Grumpy never partook in that funny cigarette. Never. And I grew up in the era of funny cigarettes back in the 70s. That's one thing I can say. I never, not even one puff, never. And, you know, to this day, I don't ponder as to if I missed anything or not. I just enjoyed the two girls giggling their ass off. Barb, one of them, well, Barb and Marge. Barb and I were an item for a while. But after a while, she kind of overdid the funny cigarettes. And I was like, you know, I'm not into that. I don't begrudge you. It's not my thing. I don't want to break your heart, sweetheart, but I think we have to part company. And the kind of difficult thing was we worked together. That was where I learned really fast that you don't date anyone you work with. Big no-no. The lucky thing for me was I got transferred shortly after from the title bureau to the courthouse. So we were in two different buildings. Although stupid-ass me, I start dating a coworker again. Yeah. Her name was Fern. Like the plant. Fern. She was crazy too, but she was just crazy. And we had a wonderful time. I mean, super girl. Her and I just gelled. And I had been to her house for dinner several times. She lived out east, God. Way out east. Way out. I think she said it used to take her like an hour to get to work. And I believe it. And one day, after dinner, now, her parents and I got along wonderfully. Her mother really liked me. She said, "Boy, you are good for my daughter." One day after dinner, it was just her father and I sitting in the library. Yeah. They had a big house. Big house. Her father was an attorney. And they had, like you see in the movies, a library. And just like a scene from a movie, you know, the big leather chairs, and the oriental rugs. Yeah. And we were, you know, sitting, waiting for the women to finish up in the kitchen. And her father happened to ask, by chance, do you go to the temple on the west side? Oh. No. Then which temple are you affiliated with? None. None? You don't go to temple? No. Why not? Every good Jewish boy should be attending temple. Jewish? Oh. Uh-oh. Are you trying to tell me you're not Jewish? Really? Okay. And that was all Dad said to me. And Monday morning, Fern said, we can't see each other outside of work. 'cause my dad said so. Yeah. Dad and I had a little talk. And when he found out that your boyfriend wasn't Jewish, I don't think he was happy. And Fern said, not really. But my mom still likes you. Oh, really? Does that mean weekend dinner is still on? And no. Oh, okay. And you know, that really kind of broke my heart. Because, like I say, Fern and I really gelled. Now, had it been later on, like in the 90s, maybe Dad would have been a little more understanding. But back in the 70s, no. Nice little Jewish girl dating a Catholic boy. Not approved. But we got to see each other at work. But you know, we had to kind of drift apart and find other members of the opposite sex. In other words, Fern had to find a good Jewish boy. Although Mom still liked me. I kind of think Mom was more upset about the whole thing than anybody. Because Mom always said, you are so good for my daughter. Well, Mom, why don't you talk to Dad and tell Dad that daughter could date a Catholic boy? I never did have that conversation with Mom, but I would have liked to. Say, hey, Mom, talk to Dad. If I'm so good for your daughter, then why can't I continue this relationship? And no, I'm not going to go to temple. No. I don't think my parents would have been too happy if I come home and said, I'm going to go to temple. I think that would have been like the last statement I made in front of my father until I came to. But Mom was happy with me. I guess maybe in the past, Fern did not date approved Jewish guys. Just saying. But boy, I'll tell you, did I miss the Jewish food. Oh, brisket, creamed herring, gefilte fish, matzo ball soup. Oh, I didn't care for that Manitz Jewish wine, though, but, oh, the food, Mom could cook. Oh, I think that was why Dad didn't get the hint right away. Because the good Catholic boy loved Jewish food. Yeah. But I got caught. I don't know what gave it away, but we had to part company. But what can you do? When Dad's got the checkbook, everybody listens to Dad. And I didn't want to cause no trouble because Dad was a big attorney. And he could have had some words with my boss. Just saying. I can't remember who it was after that. I know working in the courthouse was a big dating pool. It really was. You had your pick of the litter, so to speak. But those were the good old days, growing up back in the 70s. But boy, I'll tell you what, do I miss those Friday nights, the 6 of us going down to Fagan's, having a few brewskis, sitting in front of that big fire. It was good times. It was good times. But time moves on. But it was good times. Working for the county was a fun job. It really was. I enjoyed it. I was stupid to quit. I really was. Because the retirement system with the county was way better than Social Security, PERS, Public Employees Retirement System, pays way better than what I'm getting now. I should have stayed, but, you get that offer. The grass always looks greener on the other side of that fence until you get over there, and then you find out it's crabgrass. Young and stupid. Now I'm old and stupid. With no hair. But see how I can get off a subject? Started out St. Patrick's Day, ended up with Fern. The girl, not the plant. Oh, she was little pixie, little cutie. I don't think she weighed more than 80 pounds soaking wet. And, the interesting thing was, I did not know she was Jewish. Well, it's not like you wear a big sign. Hi, I'm Jewish. Never mentioned it. In all the times we were going out, never mentioned it. Until the first dinner at her house. And nobody mentioned it. I just happened to spot a few certain items in the house that gave it away. And I was like, this is interesting. But no, You know, Dad wasn't wearing a Yamaha, no Yamaha. Nothing gave it away until I got the tour of the house. And then I like, uh-oh. This is interesting. And I think I had 3 more weekends there, 3 more dinners, 3 more Sunday dinners. And it was the 4th dinner. Now, it wasn't every Sunday. It was like every 2 weeks. But the 4th dinner was when Dad and I... See, Fern very seldom left me alone with Dad. I think she had an idea what was going to happen. So very rarely would I be alone with Dad. And it just so happened that Sunday, him and I were sitting in that library. And they were in that kitchen a little longer than normal. And it gave Dad his opening. Because I think if Fern would have been there, eventually it was going to happen. I'm sure of that. But that was Dad's opening to ask. Now, had I known ahead of time, I could have kind of boned up a little bit. Because I know where the temple is, up on Triscuit. I could have found out the rabbi's name. But, that charade only could go on for so long. It was going to happen sooner or later. Oh, well. I guess maybe when the first time I met her parents, I might have looked a little Jewish. I don't know. Because I'm sure that first time, had Dad suspected something, it would have been over sooner. It was going to happen sooner or later. I miss that little cutie, though. She was a little cutie. I'll never forget when she got hired. And she was working over in the alimony department where people came in and paid their alimony and child support. And I happen to walk over, and I see this new face, this little pixie. And I introduced myself and I said, "What's your name?" And she said, "Fern." Oh? plant? Fern? Fern. Okay. Interesting name. She goes, yeah, I hear that all the time. Fern. But Fern never met my parents. You needed a bus pass to get from one end of the house to the other. 4 garages. 4. And Dad had 4 luxury cars. Dad had a Bentley. I drooled over that car, a Bentley. Yeah. A Bentley, a Maserati, a Maserati. Mom had an Audi. And I can't remember the 4th car. A Bentley and a Maserati. The Maserati he drove to work every day. The Bentley was like to go to temple, I guess. Mom had a top-of-the-line Audi. I can't remember what the 4th car was. It was no plain Jane. It wasn't a Ford or a Chevy. No. I'll think. It don't make any difference. But, and with that, boys and girls, I hope everybody is having a wonderful St. Patrick's Day, and I hope you don't wake up too hungover in the morning. Those headaches can be a bitch. And with that, friends, the grumpy old man